Commissioner Greg Parch told me he hopes to have a decision made about the Second Amendment by as early as next week, with progress continuing this June.
And this may look like Occupy Pullman, but it's not. It's the first ever Beasley Coliseum campout, and students have shown up in a big way.
Unfortunately, Stephanie, this isn't the first time Washington State football players have gotten in trouble with the law. In 2008, Whitman County commissioners approved a $9 million plan to provide infrastructure for a shopping facility right here on the Washington-Idaho border. In January, commissioners approved an amendment that could raise that number to $15 million. But funding isn't the only obstacle for this project.
In this case, what makes this site unique and has brought up this whole issue is that the site that the Hawkins Company owns and plans to develop does not have the infrastructure that a city might have. There isn't sewer, there isn't water.
The project hit another roadblock thanks to a pending lawsuit filed against the Hawkins Company and Whitman County.
My clients disagree that taxpayer funds should be used to assist with private enterprise projects.
Even though he doesn't agree with the numbers, Michael Argent believes the project could be successful.
All of these things I see as a positive. The only big negative I see is the county's exposure in the event that we're not generating enough revenue from the project to repay the bonds necessary to construct the project.
Last week, the Muslim Student Association held its 10th annual Islamic Awareness Week.
And that's the point. That's what Islamic Awareness Week is to try to raise awareness of who we are as their neighbors.
Highlights of the week included an Islamic guest speaker, a question and answer time, and an open house at the local mosque.
We're really happy about this year. Last year, we had very small numbers show up to our events. We put a lot of work into the events, and really nobody showed up. But this year, we've been having a lot of people start to come, and yesterday's keynote speech, I think, was the highlight.
That speaker was Haroon Magool, a Muslim PhD student at Columbia University, who spoke about what he believes is a growing problem in America, Islamophobia.
Islamophobia is kind of racism, which happened today in the Jews.
But not all Muslims share Magool's sentiment.
No, personally, I don't feel any discrimination here. This is a great society.
Magool also gave advice for Muslims in America.
He said, but we have to at least get people to know who we are. We need to reach out to them.
One of the ways MSA did that was through a question and answer time that at one point got heated.
Where does that hate come from? You're talking like George Bush, talking a little bit like George Bush. Why do the people hate us?
But at the end of the day, this is what MSA hoped to accomplish.
We still sit down, we still talk on Facebook, we still can get together and have a discussion.
For Cable 8 News, I'm Shaun Sheddy. The last month, Luis Cuevas and Lindsey Jan have been campaigning for ASWSU president and vice president.
We've enjoyed the whole process. We've learned a lot about ourselves.
One problem students have is not knowing what the candidates stand for.
Basically, all I know is basically who's running. Like, I see the signs and stuff, but I really don't know really anything about what they actually do. It's more just vote for me.
Luis and Lindsey would like to see that change.
We just want the students of this university to feel like they do have a voice within ASWSU. And so one of the things is dinner with Luis and Lindsey, where we'd be having dinner with the RSOs or other student organizations. And we would just be hearing from them about what their opinions are and how we can better serve them.
Luis and Lindsey also believe their time outside of ASWSU will be to their advantage.
The past 3 years, Luis and I have been involved all around campus, not just in one organization.
We can come into ASWSU with a different perspective, and we've been able to hear students talk about ASWSU unbiasedly, and I think that has allowed us just to create our platforms based on what students say.
Luis and Lindsey also believe their motives separate them from other candidates.
We're not doing this as a stunt. We're not doing this because we want to add something to our resume. We believe that college should be one of the best experiences of students' lives, and we know what the students want. I think that sets us apart from most of the other candidates who've been serving ASWSU for many years very well, but there just hasn't been turnaround. There hasn't been new ideas in a long time, and we feel like we have some fresh, new, innovative ideas we can bring to the table.
One of those ideas is more transparency in ASWSU.
I think one of our goals is to be really transparent with the student body. We want them to know what we're spending money on, and we want them to understand that they're stakeholders in a company, that they should have a say in how the money's spent. Even currently, I don't think you can go online and access that information currently because the website's still new, it's still getting updated, and the budget isn't readable by students. A bunch of line items, a bunch of things students can't read. And
Regardless of the outcome Wednesday night, Luis and Lindsay have enjoyed their time campaigning. For Cable 8 News, I'm Shaun Sheddy. Unfortunately, Stephanie, this isn't the first time Washington State football players have gotten in trouble with the law. Back in February, sophomore linebacker C.J. Mizell was arrested for assault. Later that month, police arrested fellow linebacker Sekope Kafusi for marijuana possession charges. Both were dismissed from the team within 48 hours. A Clarkston man is reported missing after failing to contact his family for several days. 25-year-old Robert Lee Ellis was last seen by his wife on Saturday following an argument. Ellis left the home with a rifle and a shotgun and indicated he was going camping, but did not say where he was headed. Ellis was driving a blue two-tone 1985 Chevy Silverado pickup when he left. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to contact the Asotin County Sheriff's Office at the number listed below. Cheers. There were tears, and after much consideration, the Women's Resource Center recognized the Mom of the Year.
The characters and qualities that we look for in a mom for Mom of the Year has to deal with a touching, compelling story.
Lots of the nominations that we read where there was a lot of tears and a lot of moving stories, so we're very excited for this year.
This year we had a total of 15 applicants. In years past we've had 50 to 60. So now the finalists.
3 moms were selected as finalists and had passages of their nomination essay read out loud to the audience. Only one amazing mom could take home the title. That mom was Maria Blackburn.
But this is quite an honor. I'm very, very honored.
Well, we really felt that her story was one that really needed to be shared, and you never really recognize your mom enough.
Maria even had to make sacrifices to make it to the brunch.
I ran out of respite hours, and so luckily the nurses who work with him right now, they all rallied behind me.